Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Beat the Book. As always, I'm one of your hosts on this show, MattyBets, joined by my partner over there,
BigAL Bettor, how we doing tonight, Matt?
BigAL Bettor. I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself, man?
I'm doing pretty darn good. We just finished watching that incredible Thursday night football game. It was a heartbreaker if you're Baker and the Bucks, but it's a good time in Atlanta if you're a Falcons fan.
Yeah, for sure. Kirk Cousins doing what he does best, just coming back at the end of the game and winning. I mean, that's just what the Falcons are going to do all year. We'll see if they can pull it together and kind of like string together a couple wins. Hopefully, the offense looked good tonight, so hopefully they keep that up, and just kind of cruise into the postseason pretty easily. But we'll see. One possession games aren't really the way to go, but they're kind of the Kirk Cousins way to go. That's the same thing that they did when he was in Minnesota too. Just one possession games, and he'd
hmm
just go down the field and win the game for him. So that's something you can rely on, just like you guys can rely on us every single week, coming out with videos, letting you guys know about our sports bets for the week. This week, we got week
hmm
5 coming up. We got the whole Sunday slate of games. That's what we're going to be doing. This is our Sunday, kind of like our big show of the week. We kind of go
Yeah, it
through
is.
all the Sunday games. There's a ton of them every week. First week of buys, and we're just going to go through the games. We'll start off with our locks of the week. We got 3 of them. We each come together with 5 games. If you're new to the channel, we bring our 5 best bets that we both have. We come together and we agree on 3. So out of 10 games, we take 3 to agree on. And yeah, I mean that's what we do. Anything else to add there, Al?
No, we give those out to you guys as our locks of the week, and they're the bets we feel the best about of the 10 games we looked at individually. We don't talk about them until we are live on camera. And then after that, we give you guys 3 different parlays. We kind of been playing with different ways of doing it, but for this week, we've got a touchdown score parlay from across the games on Sunday. We have prop play parlay, and then we're doing a 6-point teaser.
Yep, exactly. We tried out the teasers last week, and we were both really close on hitting a couple.
hmm
Yeah, we had like one game that we each missed, so it is what it is. We'll see. We'll screw around and with the teasers a little bit more, and then maybe we'll go back to our touchdown and prop parlay combined, or maybe we'll have another Sunday where we
Sure.
just go 3 touchdown parlays, or we'll see. But as of right now, that's what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna try it out. Let us know in the comments what you guys think, and yeah, without further ado, you ready to jump into this thing?
I am, Matt. We'll see if we agree on more than just 1 or 2 this week. The first week we agreed on quite a few, and then since what, week 3 on, last 2
Yeah.
weeks we haven't brought as many things we've agreed as much on.
Yeah, exactly. We've agreed on what, like one, I think. One was
I
like, oh,
think
cool,
one.
that's one lock, and then we spend 10 to 15 minutes talking back and forth about, kind of pleading our case,
Trying to pull.
to the jury,
Yeah.
trying to get them on our side. So, without further ado, I'll start off. My first game that I'm bringing to the table today is Patriots versus Dolphins. We
Okay.
saw the Dolphins. We've seen the Dolphins since they lost Tua, and
Okay.
they are not the Dolphins. I don't know who they are, but they are not the Dolphins. Dolphins are getting 1.5. Patriots are -1.5 here, and I
Okay.
love it. I love Patriots -1.5. I like Jacoby Brissett. The Patriots haven't been a terrible team. They haven't been great by any means, but they're better in my opinion than the Dolphins without Tua. So give me the Patriots there at -1.5 with a decent defense and Jacoby Brissett leading them to the victory. Next, we got
Okay.
Bills at Texans. I don't know if you could have guessed this one coming, but Bills are 1.5 point favorites on the road in Houston.
Okay.
Like, let's not forget the Bills have only lost to one team, and that was the Ravens, who are like arguably the best team in football. Well, the best roster in football. Let's say that. So, um, yeah, I like the Bills here at -1.5 at the Texans. CJ Stroud, we've seen glimpses of what he was last year already this year, but we've also seen glimpses of not what he was last year, and that's kind of the second year player that most people kind of are, where it's you can have a great, phenomenal first year, and then the second year, defenses have more film, coaches, defensive coordinators, they kind of know your style of play a little bit more, and then it's just a struggle, and it's harder to stay on pace with the success that you had the year before. So I like the Bills there. The Bills defense be able to get after CJ Stroud, stop the Texans offense. Next, we're going Panthers at Bears. And I don't know. I feel like if you do hate the Bears as much as you say you do, Mr. Packers fan, then I think you're going to be on this one with me. And we got Panthers at +3.5. You're going to give me the Panthers at 3.5 on the road against the Bears. I get the Bears have a great defense, but I still haven't seen what I need to from the offense that I'm not taking them. Like, the Bears can win this game by 3 points, sure, in a close one. But, yeah, give me the Panthers at plus 3.5 there. Then next, we'll move on. Browns at Commanders. I like the Commanders -3. Jaden Daniels is the most accurate quarterback in the league right now and is a rookie. And also, like, runs as much as Lamar Jackson does. So give me the young Commanders, the young quarterback. Give me Jaden Daniels and Commanders to be able to beat the Browns and beat them by at least 3. And then last but not least, we got Cardinals at Niners. Niners are 7.5-point favorites. Correct me if I'm wrong right here. Is McCaffrey playing?
No.
Is Debo playing? Probably.
Potentially. I think
Okay.
so.
And Ayuk's still playing because he didn't get injured, right?
I don't believe so.
Okay, cool. Yeah, give me the Cardinals here at plus 7.5 on the road
Really?
against the Niners. Yeah, we've seen the Niners do. The Niners do not look that great. Their defense still looks good and solid, but the Niners themselves don't look that great. So give me the Cardinals to keep this one close. I've liked what I've seen from the Cardinals this year. Kyler Murray. Yeah, I like the Cardinals there at 7.5. Give me a touchdown on the road.
Okay.
Those are my 5 picks. Those are the ones that I brought to the table. And now without further ado, we wait for your picks with bated breath.
Okay, so for my locks of the week, I like the Colts +3 this week.
Yeah, see,
And you may disagree with me
I knew
because
you're
of
gonna
the
do
whole
some
Duval
BS
thing.
like that. Yeah.
I'm with you already. We got 2 we can lock in.
Yes.
I'm with you
Yes.
already on
We did
2.
it. We did it, guys. Welcome
This is
back to
huge.
the
Okay,
channel. We're back on the
welcome
heater.
back.
We're gonna go 2 for 3 this week.
I really hope so. So Bills -1.
Got to do it.
Have to do it. Up until that Ravens game, they looked like the best team in the whole league. They were dominating everybody. The Ravens are a wagon. We've known that. It was just a bad matchup for the Bills. Their defense got exposed. They're not going to be exposed against this Texans team that has not looked nearly as good as they did last year. The other one we're going to lock in right now, Panthers +4.
Yeah, there it is. See,
It's
I
right
knew it.
there. What are we even
I knew
talking
that was
about?
an easy
Andy
one.
Dalton is a different animal than what that team was without him. And Caleb Williams still, I'm not sold on.
Same.
He's still learning. He's a rookie. And that defense for the Panthers is playing a lot better now that they know they got a quarterback that can actually go win games for them. And we watched that Panthers game, and Andy Dalton went right down the field and just scored.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing
And
with
obviously,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say, like, that's the thing with a defense is like you have bad quarterbacks, bad offenses, right? The defense picks up off of that, and it's like, okay, why are we gonna play and give 100% effort when our offense is gonna put us right back on the field? Like,
Right.
why play 100%? And you also can't play 100% when your offense isn't doing anything, and you are going back out there. You're more tired. Injuries happen a little bit more. You just get like, okay, I'm not going to cover this guy this play. What are the chances he throws it to him? Boom, it happens, and then you guys lose by 20 points, and you're never in any games. So I do understand what you're saying there, and I agree. Yeah, I like the Panthers. The defense, yeah, it's getting better just because they have an adult in the backfield now.
Right.
So.
Right. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the Panthers defense is good. I think they're absolute trash, but they've gone from being like a 28th defense to being like a 22nd defense, which you take that. And I just don't trust Caleb Williams to really move the ball on good defenses.
Yeah.
Or even like a defense that could try. I just think Andy Dalton's going to go down the field and just score just like he did against the Bengals. And and we get 4.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's a trap. Maybe the books are trying to trap us there, but you're going to give me over a field goal against a team in the Bears that hasn't shown me they can consistently do anything well.
Yeah,
except play defense. That's it.
I will say at the start of the season, I said for the Bears, I said it's going to be probably week 5 or 6 where they're going to start to come alive, So we'll see. From what I've seen, I don't think it's going to be this week. If anything, it'll be next week most likely when they kind of start gelling. I'm pretty sure I also said it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might have to go back and watch the scheduled release videos.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure I said the same thing for the Falcons. And I said it's going to take them a while. Kirk Cousins is coming off the Achilles. It's going to take them some time to get there. And it seems like that time has come 5-6 weeks. I said the same for both these teams. I was like, hey, Bears and Falcons, they're kind of on the same trajectory because Like Kirk Cousins, brand new team. Caleb Williams, brand new team for him because he's not in college anymore. You got to learn the league and all that. So, I mean, with Caleb Williams, I like what I'm seeing from Kirk Cousins and the Falcons way more than the Bears. And that's why I'm also on the Commanders right
Absolutely.
there. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so then I got to convince you, or you got to pull me to one of these. I've got the Colts plus the 3, which I think we'll just stay away from.
I
And that
agree. It's
was
too
mostly
close
because
to home.
I think the Jags suck. But that with their record in Duval, maybe we just say, hey, this is the perfect spot for the Jags to get their first win.
Yeah.
This one I really love, and I think we should take it. Giants plus 6.5 against Seattle.
See, so my only issue there is that
Okay.
so I've been kind of low on Seattle this year. Okay, let the comments flood
Let
if
the
you want to.
record
That's
know.
fine. Yeah, let the record know. I've been kind of low on Seattle. I'm kind of on the other side now. Like obviously, like we've talked about before, Lions defense isn't as good as it used to be, but we saw a great freaking game on Monday night
Oh,
with Lions and
so good.
Seattle. It was a big shootout, ton of points. At what they get up to like 60 or 70, like ton of
Yeah,
points, a lot of scoring. Uh, Seattle's offense looks like it's for real. So I don't want to take them against the terrible Giants defense where their offense could go nuclear and be like, hey, we barely lost to the Lions. Guess what? We're not going to barely lose to the Giants. We're going to destroy them. And maybe they come out there and they win by 14 to 20 because I do not like the Giants this year at all. So that'd
okay,
be
but
that'd be a hard sell.
okay, here's the sell. The Seahawks have yet to beat a team by more than 6 points, and we get 6.5.
Okay, that's why it's a trap because the book's playing
Is that a
people
trap?
like you and they're saying, hey, they haven't won by more than 6. Why do you think it said it's 6.5?
But they've also played trash teams. They let the Patriots. They didn't even beat the Patriots. They
That
took
was
them to
that was
overtime.
week 1, wasn't it?
And the Broncos. No, week 2 was the Patriots.
Okay, week 1 was the Broncos. That's fine. Week 2, it was early. We didn't really see Seattle's offense pop off till week 3 against the Dolphins. So
Right, and the Dolphins didn't have a quarterback.
yeah, exactly, and it was still
And
close.
the Giants just played Dallas to a 5-point game.
Yeah, but Dallas is a shell of themselves. Okay, here let's go back to that. Give me your 5th pick.
Okay, my final pick
Okay, I might
was
like this one.
The Panthers Bears game over.
Oh, you're playing the over. Panthers Bears over.
Ever
Yeah.
since Andy Dalton took over, they've been around 30 points a game, and this over under set at 41. So we just need the Bears to do anything.
Okay, I have a question for you now. Okay, because I
Go
don't
ahead.
mind that at all. I don't mind throwing
Okay.
that in as the lock of the week. But it's my
Okay.
turn now. Okay. Do you like Patriots at -1.5 against the Dolphins?
I don't hate it. I just feel like Mike McDaniel is he a good coach or not?
No, we know this.
You think he's a bad coach?
Yes, and you do too. We talked about it last week. We're like, dude, this guy's an idiot. Like,
No, I
he
said he's supposed to be some sort of mastermind. And so if Snoop Huntley's going to play again, you got to think they're going to do more. And all they got to do is stop the Patriots from running the ball, basically make Jacoby Brissett throw, and there you go. You win the game.
okay. Next one.
It's just a scary matchup
Okay, next one.
because it is a pick-em.
And you're gonna be really against this, I think, because you love good defenses. What
Okay.
about the Commanders and Browns?
Dude, see, I almost did the Commanders on mine, honestly.
Okay, so is that one that you would
I
rather
just
take
feel like at what point does this guy come back down to earth?
and stop throwing 82%?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think it's this week against the Browns. Like the Browns have a good defense, so maybe that does come down to earth, and he completes 60%, right? I can see that happening because the Browns do have a good defense, but
It's not as good as last year's.
exactly, and also like having a good defense is great unless you're playing against a quarterback that freaking makes up stuff on the fly, like playing
Sure.
against a Mahomes, playing against like an Aaron Rodgers in his prime, like guys that get out of the pocket and they don't necessarily run every time. They kind of just buy time to be able to throw that ball. And I think that's what Jaden Daniels does really well, and that's why his completion percentage is so high, is because he gets away from trouble, extends plays. Yeah, sometimes he'll just run it for 20 yards with his legs, but for the most part, I feel like he's out there like, oh, cool. Well, who's going to get open here because I moved, and I'm out of the pocket now. The play's broken down and dead, and okay, which defender's sleeping, which guy's open?
Okay. Okay, so just to be clear, you like Commanders -3 or 3.5, depending on the book.
Yep.
Over the Chicago Panthers going over 41 total points.
Yeah. So my only thing with the Panthers and the Bears is the fact that we don't like the Bears offense at all, but we do like the Panthers offense. So
Okay.
obviously we know that the Panthers defense isn't the best, but we don't like the
Right.
Bears offense, and we can both agree on that. And
Right.
so I can see the Panthers scoring. What's the over under in this game?
41.
See, because see, that's tough.
And that's what I'm saying. Since Andy Dalton got there, it's 28 and 31 total points scored each game.
Yeah,
So he's
but
going to get
are
you.
the
He's going to get you
Bears
over
going to
halfway
let
of the
you
way there.
down?
It's a bad defense. They've let people score over 20 points every single week.
I trust Jaden Daniels more, just personally, and I like
Okay,
the
we'll lock
Commanders
it
at
in.
minus
We'll
three
lock
at
it in.
home. At home too.
Okay, we'll
You
lock
like
it in.
that?
Yep. We'll do it. So, guys, we've got the Panthers +4 taking on Chicago. We've got the Bills -1 in Houston, and we've got the Commanders -3 taking on the Browns.
Yep.
The Cleveland Browns at home, coming off a hot win. 2 hot wins, right?
Yeah.
No,
They're
they've
on a
won 3 straight.
They're on a heater. Yeah,
Because
they
they're
lost the
3-1.
first week.
And their first loss was to Baker and the Bucks week 1.
Yep.
So,
And they're just cruising through too. Like we said, Jaden Daniels coming off. Like he's just played the best out of any rookie quarterback ever. 82% completion rating is what he's throwing so far. So we'll see if that continues. Maybe it doesn't, but I still like the
okay.
Commanders to get the win anyway. I like the weapons that they have on their team. Yeah, I like that.
Is
I
the
like that a
plan to
lot.
ride this train till the wheels fall off?
I'm not sure. I think this
Okay.
will be a good test for Jaden Daniels because I think this will
Okay.
be the toughest front that he's had to play against. So we'll see if he can still get away and elude the pressure, or if it's going to be more so like he's running for his life and he gets sacked 4 times. Because you got to
Okay.
understand he is still a rookie, so he's going to make mistakes. So maybe he has like 2 turnovers in this game and gets sacked 4 times, and it's a terrible outing. But I still think that they win the game because we know the Browns' offense is not like anything. Like it's like the Dolphins' offense, honestly, at this point.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So,
Okay.
but yeah,
Let's jump into our parlays.
all right, sounds good. You want me to start?
I
Or you
feel good
want to?
about those picks, to be completely good. Like I said, Commanders -3. If Chicago and the Panthers over hits instead, it's like, whatever. But if we hit those other 2, we went to, like, our goal is to go 2 of 3. We want the sweep, but we go 2 of the 3 total. Like we're winning people money,
I think this
and
week
we're
is
winning
this.
ourselves money.
I think this week is the sweep. I think we're
Bills
gonna.
-1 feels like a slam dunk.
It does. Everybody still is super high on the Texans. Like I get that the Bills are favored at the Texans, so obviously they think the Bills are going to win this game. But I
Right.
think it's also kind of a trap to kind of diss the Texans a little bit, so all the Houston fans
Mm-hmm.
go and bet the game. So
I
that's what
agree.
I'm
I'm
guessing.
with you.
And Panthers at +3.5, love that. And then Commanders -3. I mean, they all seem really good. And I think we sweep. And I think we actually could for sweep, technically. We could get sweep +1 because if that Panthers and Bears over hits, I mean, obviously we said it on the channel, we're not taking that as best bet. But people, they're going to hear a bet, be like, oh, Panthers, Bears, let me look into this. Like, you get out some stats there,
Sure.
like, 27, 31 points. Like, people might
Right.
like that. So we might get a 4 for 3 sweep, which would be cool.
Okay.
But obviously, we're going 3 for 3 because those are our locks of the week. We're not taking Panthers and Bears over, but it is still there. We said it, so just to clarify that.
It was a close fourth.
Yes. Yep.
Close
Exactly.
fourth.
So, all right. Jumping in first, I'll start off with my touchdown parlay. Pretty
Okay.
simple here. We got 5 touchdown scores from 5 different games. First off, we're taking Brees Hall. He fell through for us last week, didn't do anything. So I like the bounce back here. Next, we got Derrick Henry for the Ravens, -165. He's the favorite in that game. No surprise there. Next, we got
Surprise, right?
James Cook. He's been kind of on a heater for the Bills. He's the best. He's one of the best players on that team, like the second best, I would
Mm-hmm.
say, besides Josh Allen. He's a +100. You're getting plus money on James Cook this week. Next, we're going Ramondre Stevenson. Love Patriots against the Dolphins. Stevenson's a -105. Last but not least, Josh Jacobs for the Packers. Rams don't have that great of a run defense. I see Jacobs getting in the end zone. He's at -140. That parlay pays out plus 21.57. So it's 21 times your bet.
Okay. I don't hate that one.
There you go. Whew.
All running backs.
All running backs. We're done taking receivers and hoping that they get a touchdown. Just take the guys that they're probably going to get. the option or the opportunity for a touchdown. Tired of not hitting
Okay,
these parlays because
let me
just
jump into a parlay that's the complete opposite of yours as
oh
far
yay, I
as
love this.
yours feels super risk off, and mine, with the odds that it pays out, is
No,
super
here we go.
risk
It's gonna be
on.
a plus
But
like 9,000.
so I've
Okay,
got Scary Terry for a touchdown. He's had back-to-back weeks. He's had touchdowns, so I just keep the streak alive, Terry. I got Aaron Jones for a touchdown. He didn't have a touchdown last week, and he had been pretty consistent up until then. I got Jonathan Taylor, even though you said he's on the injury report. So
he's still
watch that, guys, if
questionable.
you're going to make a bet. But I'm expecting him to play. If he plays, I don't trust the Jags defense at all. So give me Jonathan Taylor. I've got Jamar Chase. I believe he has had touchdowns the last 2 weeks also. So scary Terry situation for me. And I don't know if you guys watched the Bengals game, but last 2 weeks they've balled out, and Joe Burrow looks all the way back. So I just trust them to score a boatload of points. Then I got Ramondre Stevenson, just like you do, because I don't trust the Dolphins. And I like Chuba Hubbard. And I don't know if you've looked at his stats since Andy Dalton became the starter, but he's been doing whatever he wants. He's been balling.
Okay.
So I threw that's six picks. That pays out plus 9,263.
Dang, look at me, right on the freaking money right there.
You were right on the money there. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I like it. Like you said with the whole Ramondre Stevenson, and then I get like what you're doing. The trend that you're taking here is like, hey, they scored a touchdown last 2 weeks. I'm taking them, throw them on there, and then like you said with Aaron Jones had
Yeah.
touchdowns and then played against his old team. Obviously, they're going to play the run a little bit heavier there. They don't want him to get the revenge game that he wants. So I like
Yep.
that. Throw a little bit of rain on his parade. Let him get right this week.
And we're riding the hot quarterbacks. Jamar Chase and Terry McLaurin, two of the hottest quarterbacks in the game right now. And then the other teams are teams that we know like to run the ball, and that plays heavily into how they do it. And Ramondre Stevenson's the best player on that team on offense. So
Yep, and we're also targeting the bad run defenses too.
I mean, the
Like
Bears' run defense isn't terrible, and that's who
it's
the
not.
Panthers have to play. So that's going to be that one's tough. But I just trust Andy Dalton to do enough to get them to play a little deeper coverage and let Chuba do what he needs to do.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with Andy Dalton is like you're kind of scared of him because like his first game back like threw what 350 yards or something like that, 3 touchdowns.
He
So
was just dealing. Yeah,
yeah, so you got
exactly.
to play a little preventative so you don't get beat by the deep ball. But we'll see.
Right.
Yeah, maybe they just run all the way down. They throw all the way down the field and then boom, here Chuba, take it, or it's a screen play to Chuba or
That's
Chuba,
my
however you
thought.
want to say it. Yeah. Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't mind those at all. Like you said, mine's a lot safer of a pick. I got 3 minuses on my 5 touchdowns, and then you're taking 6 touchdown scores. Uh, yeah, plus 9,000 is nice. I like mine a lot for just the plus 2,000. Just get your 21 times your bet, move on to the next game or the next bet that you have. Watch a different bet. Like that's
For sure,
that's what
I
I'm
might
trying
take
to do.
I might take your same bet. Like I love James Cook, Derrick Henry's looked like a beast. Obviously I like the Jets this year, so Brees Hall, that's a slam dunk. And then Josh Jacobs didn't. I don't think he scored last week either. So for him to get in the end zone, I think he'll do that against the Rams too.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, cool. Moving on, doing a prop bet parlay. How we do all these is kind of up to us. We kind of limit it. The lowest that you can go is 4 picks, and then the highest you can go is 6, maybe even 7, depending on what you like. We've never done 7
hmm
yet, but it's usually 4 to 6. Keep it around there. Juices it up pretty good, and then also it doesn't give us. It's not some 13-leg parlay that we're trying to pray hits. So that's just
Right.
kind of how we do these. First, I got Alan Lazard over 35.5 receiving yards.
That's a sweet one.
Isn't it? It's minus
35 and a
114.
half.
That's what his line set at. I
That feels
like it against the
perfect. Okay.
Vikings. We saw the Packers last week against the Vikings, and I mean they didn't do anything the first half. They did absolutely nothing the first half. Second half, tore the Vikings apart. Threw for a ton of yards, like 3 or 4 touchdowns. It was a light show in the third and fourth quarter of that game. So I like Rodgers to be able to do that. Rodgers also knows the Vikings very well too, which a lot of people might not be knowing. Spread on that game is plus 2.5, by the way, for the Jets against the Vikings. So just throwing that out there too. Rodgers played this team a ton in his career, and I'm pretty sure he probably has a winning record against them. Uh, so I like Alan Lazard to be able to feast again. They're going to feel like they're back in Green Bay. That's kind of like what I'm going for. It's the reunion of them playing against the Vikings, old division rival. Let's go. Like, that's my idea there. Next, we got T. Higgins, 50 plus receiving yards. That's at minus 130. He had 64 or 67 last week. T. Higgins is back, baby. We're just waiting for him to get into the end zone. Next, Josh Allen, over 230.5 passing yards. That's at his line as well, just like Allen Lazard, and that's at minus 114. I think Josh Allen's going to
Okay.
have to throw all over the Texans. I think it'll be a lot of running too, but I think they're going to have a really big offensive day. They need to after getting spanked by the Ravens. So,
Agreed.
yep. And next we got Colby Parkinson's disease, 40 plus
Okay.
receiving yards. They're playing against the Rams, he plays for the Rams. My bad. The Rams against Green Bay. We saw the Vikings. They were able to kind of score two. Like we've talked about, the Rams have no weapons. And Parkinson, he's gotten involved a little bit more in the passing game since Puka and Cooper Kupp have been out. So big game from Kyron Williams, obviously. Give my boy Colby, 40 plus yards. That's a plus 106 too. I think that's a great line, and it's a great bet there. And then
Okay.
last but not least, this is my fifth leg on this. We got George Pickens at 50 plus receiving yards. We saw the Steelers last week kind of turn it on near the end of the game against the Colts, my Colts. I like them to kind of pick up where they left off against Dallas. And yeah, I mean, I'm hoping at least that. I mean, who else is going to catch the ball out there? If anybody's
No,
getting
he's been
50
incredible.
yards, it'll be
He's
Pickens.
been
Yeah.
incredible this whole year too. Him and Justin Fields have a great rapport, and there's been so many games. I mean, I think he's gone over this line most of the games they played.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I mean, he's the guy over there. Like you said, has a great season so far. Let's keep it up here against the Cowboys. That's at minus 144. The whole parlay there plays out plus 2,076. Pretty much the same as my touchdown one, which kind of just goes to show you how conservative I was with the touchdown scorers. Because as you guys know, we'll take for primetime games, we'll take 4 touchdown scorers. I'll sometimes give you guys the odds if you take all 4 of those guys or 3 of those guys into a parlay, and I can get that juice to like 2,000 or 3,000 for just 3 touchdown scorers. So being able to take 5 touchdown scores, only paying out plus 2,000, and then 5 props to also pay out plus 2,000. Touchdowns, I went definitely super conservative on. But I just want to recap
For
that
sure.
real quick. We got Allen Lazard over 35.5 receiving yards, T. Higgins 50 plus receiving yards, Josh Allen over 230.5 passing yards, Colby Parkinson 40 plus receiving yards plus 106, and then George Pickens 50 plus receiving yards, and that parlay pays out plus 2,076.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. Pretty easy, pretty doable. I think. I think that one will hit this week, which will be nice
I
to
think
hit.
the only two for me that are a little questionable. That's the Colby for 40 plus, just in case Green Bay shuts down the tight ends and forces a bad deal for Stafford and he has a bad day. And then Josh Allen 230 just seems like a lot, but you are playing the bounce back, so for that reason I do like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like the bounce back for Josh Allen. Like that's kind of why I'm like, yeah, over 230. I like that a lot. And then the Colby Parkinson is just because they don't have anybody else.
Right.
So, and I don't
Right.
see Demarcus Robinson getting 300 yards or something like that. So,
I would have been looking at Tutu Atwell.
Tutu Atwell is the guy over there right now, but I still don't trust it enough. And his line's more juice. It's less juice than Parkinson. So, I like Parkinson to just kind of get open, end the game with 5 catches, maybe 4 catches, 42 yards, something like that.
Okay. Okay. All right, let me jump into mine then. I guess it pays out once again a little bit higher than yours, but I also have 6 legs, not 5, so
Okay,
that's
makes
probably
sense.
why. First line, Aaron Rodgers, 225 passing yards. You just set the stage for the whole thing. They're playing the Vikings again. He's owned the Vikings, and they're in London, which he played in London a couple years ago. I don't know when the last time the Vikings were in London was, but I like the matchup a lot, and they just came off a terrible loss to the Broncos. That's gonna tick them off. So I think Aaron Rodgers will come out and throw for 250, 300. So 225 was a little more conservative, and I think it was plus money. I can't remember for sure when I built this, but then my next one, I got Lamar Jackson for 40 plus rushing yards. He's gone over that in I think every single game. If it wasn't every game, it's all but one game so far. That feels like an easy line to get. Then I got James Cook, 75 plus rushing and receiving. Once again, we're playing the same idea with Josh Allen. Big bounce back game. He should go for a ton of yards, and it is the Texans. So James Cook should bounce back in a big way. Next, Josh Jacobs, 100 plus rushing and receiving. They're playing the Rams. He had a quieter week last week, so I'm also playing just a huge bounce back. DK Metcalf, 60 plus reception yards. If you guys watched that game, on Monday night. He had over 100 yards. He's been just consistently getting higher and higher. He's feeling kind of like A.J. Brown last year was to me at this point. So I like him for 60 plus, and I believe that was also plus money. And then I got Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, 60 plus reception yards. He's clearly Jaden Daniels' favorite target. They seem to have a rapport, so I'm just going to trust that train to keep on chugging. And so those are my 6. That pays out plus 4,000.
Okay. I like that too. I actually wanted to talk to you about, yeah, like you were saying about Terry McLaurin. It's him and Dotson over there. Those are the two
Yep.
guys. And yeah, I mean, what'd you take him for? 40 or 60?
No, wasn't Dotson the one that got traded
Oh, he might have.
to the Eagles?
Yes, you were right. I'm not
Yeah.
even sure the Commanders have. I know they have a decent tight end, but whatever. Like you were saying though, he is the number one over there. Clearly,
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot. The one that does scare me a little bit is Josh Jacobs.
100 plus?
Yeah, just because it's a lot of yards. Like the triple digits always scares me to take in a bet. It just
Sure.
does. Like that's how I am with Kyron Williams too. Kyron Williams is hard to take
Right.
at 100, and that's kind of what his line set at too. Um, but we'll see. Like we've said, the Rams run defense isn't the best, so hopefully big bounce back game there for Jacobs. Love the 40 for Lamar. The 40 for Lamar seems like a really easy bet, and then
Right.
yeah, and then like you said with the Rodgers over 225, love that too. Kind of the same thing that we said for Josh Allen. Bounce back game, big bounce back game for Rodgers. Um, yeah, I like those bets a lot.
Oh, I will say too, just on the Aaron Rodgers thing. So, um, everybody talks about this Vikings defense being really good, right?
Which it is allegedly.
Which it is. They've given up the most passing yards in the league.
Okay.
So that even further give me Aaron Rodgers to run down the field. I think they're just letting people get down the field, but stopping them in the end zone, and that's pretty much how they've been playing the game. So,
Which
but
I
they've given
mean,
up the most passing yards, and that happens when you play with a lead. People have to throw to get back into the thing.
yeah.
But if that's how this game plays out, we don't even need the Jets to win. We just need them to get behind and have to throw. And that's your game.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I will say too. I mean, that is the what I don't want to say like the best way to play football, but it's a lot easier for your defense if you are giving up a lot of yards and then you just have to guard the red zone. It obviously is
Sure.
easier. It shrinks the field. It's tighter windows that you have to throw into for the quarterback. It's easier to stop the run there because you don't have to play as heavy of coverage. Um, yeah, it's definitely easier. You don't have to guard 40 yards. You only have to guard 20 or 10 or 15. So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, good on them. They are, they're undefeated still. So we'll see if the Jets can beat them.
Yep. They're a very good team.
Yep. So we'll see. Next, we'll move on to our teaser parlay that we got, and mine's gonna be pretty short and sweet. If you guys listen to the five that I brought to the table, we're taking those, throwing those all in there. They are the five picks that I like the most here this week. So first off, we got the Patriots at -1.5. We're taking them, and we get +4.5. Love that a lot. Next, we're going Bills at -1.5. Same thing there. +4.5 on the road in Houston. Even if they lose that game, which we don't think they will, because I mean we got the best bet there. We still have the 4-point cushion, which we love right there.
Yep.
Panthers at +3.5. Yeah, let's just juice that sucker up to +9.5. Why not? No point not to throw that in there. We already talked about the Bears offense being lackluster. Commanders versus the Browns at home. Like -3, give me a +3 on that. Just boost it a little bit more. Why not? It just helps me sleep better at night. Uh, Cardinals +7.5 at the Niners. I mean, we're playing that at +13.5. Like, I mean, they just seem really easy, really gettable, and that's what you're supposed to do with teasers. You take the bets that you like the most, and then you throw them in there. Then my last one that I got that I didn't bring to the table is Colts +8.5 at the Jags. Love that a lot. You already said you like the Colts to actually win that game. I'm not taking them to win that
Right.
game. I'm not taking them with just a +2.5 point spread, which is what I'm getting on FanDuel. I'm going to take them for the +8.5 in the teaser. And that's my
Okay.
6-leg teaser bet. And that pays out +500 or +600, like we've already talked about. Teasers don't pay you
Right.
that much, but you get the extra 6 points in every game.
Right. I will say it's crazy because you were one off last week, And it just shocks me that you don't take any over-unders. Because it
No,
feels like there's so many gettable lines in the over-unders.
yeah, and I was one away.
That's what I just said.
And we're gonna
That's what I
sweep
just
this
said.
week. We're gonna hit the teaser. We're gonna sweep on our best bets. We're gonna hit both these touchdown and prop parlays. That's just what we're gonna do. And if you guys want to join us for this crazy ride that we're on, that's awesome. If you don't, that's cool. We'll count the stacks behind the camera. You know.
That'd be over 50 units.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. If you can make that one happen, that would be awesome. Okay, I'm gonna jump into mine. I've got the Jets on the spread, so I cut that up to. I got it pulled up over here. So I pull that up to a plus 6.5, 8.5.
8.5. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got the Jets spread up to 8.5. I've got the Bills spread just like you do, up to 4.5, plus 4.5. I've got the Colts spread as well to plus 8.5. I've got the Giants spread that you said you didn't like from plus 6.5 to a plus 12.5.
I do like that
Then
a lot.
the Carolina Chicago over.
Okay.
I've got that down to 35. It was at 41. And then my final pick is the Jets Vikings over, which I pulled down to 34.
Okay. I like that a lot. Like, yeah, obviously the Vikings defense, like we talked about, is really good. I'm guessing your odds on that are the same as mine, right? Around 500 or 600.
Yeah, it's plus 600. I think all 6-point teasers are that number.
Mm-hmm. Um, I was gonna say though, for Jets Vikings, I get why the over under, like obviously the over under set at 40.5, or at least over here on FanDuel. So getting that
Right.
bumped down to 34 for the over in that game, that seems easy, right? 34 points.
Doesn't.
You got
That's what I'm
Rodgers.
trying to
You
say.
like you said, they're in England, like or London, whatever it is.
Yep. London. Yep.
I mean, you got the Vikings who have been able to score offensively, and they played with a lead like the whole year. And then you have the Jets with Aaron Rodgers and Alan Lazard, Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, like that whole
Right.
squad going to London. My bad. Uh,
Yeah.
to go and play that game, I love the matchup, and I love the fact that it's probably going to be like well over even the 40 points that they have right here. I like that game to be at like 50. Like let's get the Vikings up to 30. Let's get the Jets to 27. Like. Mhm.
Well, and a lot's been made, a lot has been said in the media and whatever about Sunday's game against the Packers, but the Packers showed you can score on these guys, and the talking point was, well, you play softer when you have that big of a lead, yada yada. But the point is that defense gave up that many points, and you can watch film and you can find places to exploit, and so and the Vikings score, man, like they're up near 30 every single game. So if they're up near 30 every single game, you just need 4 points from a Jets team that has Aaron Rodgers. You don't think he gets one, false start on a guy and or an offsides and then just rips one down the field to Lazard or to Garrett Wilson, or Brees Hall rips a big run?
I don't
It's
know.
just a
They
silly
didn't look
feeling.
good against the Broncos. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, and they still have 9 points. So you give me 9 points plus you give me a Vikings team that gets to 30. We're at 40 points. That's an over, baby.
That's true. I like that a lot. All right, ladies
So
and gentlemen. Well, thank you for tuning in to this Week 5 Sunday NFL football breakdown, if you want to call it. Just Sunday slate of games. We're just two guys talking about football, talking about betting. That's what we do here on the show. If you like the content, hit the subscribe button. Helps us out a lot. Helps you guys get notified, when we come out with new videos, new shorts, all that kind of stuff. Look for the content coming out soon. Play smart bets. Limit yourself if you need to. And, I mean, that's all I got for him. Al, what you got?
just like we always say, protect your bag, beat the book, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys in our next couple videos.